Welcome to my YouTube channel. Thank you for coming back if you're a return visitor, and thank you for liking and subscribing below. Today I wanted to talk about what could you do energetically during a difficult time or problematic experience in your life, or what's happening right now in the world regarding Ukraine and Russia and really the entire world. It's hard to know what to do energetically. So I'm going to talk about what I recommend you don't do, which a lot of empathic people do what I'm going to say, please don't do. And of course, you can do whatever you want. And then I'm going to give you a suggestion of what you can do that could be extremely helpful. First of all, when it comes to helping another person or yourself, it's imperative that you are neutral and unconditional in your approach. So I've had a lot of people write to me saying that they're sending love, of course, to Ukraine and to Russia, in particular, the leader of Russia. And I don't think a lot of people can be unconditional or neutral if they're sending energy to the leader of Russia, even if it's love. I think there's a lot of conditions that they're actually sending, to be peaceful, to stop activity, to be compassionate, to think about the people in Ukraine or any other part of the world that's having violence at this time. So that's not unconditional and it's not neutral. So please don't do that. And remember, there are people in the world who have narcissistic patterns and they like attention, positive or negative. So you don't want to feed them any form of energy. It's best if you can't be neutral or unconditional in your approach. Like unconditional love is just pure love. It's high vibrational pure love. If you can't do that, and I honestly wouldn't be able to do that at this time easily with a lot of forethought and exercise for the leader of Russia right now. I would have a hard time. And I work on sending unconditional love to people every single day. So I could do it, but it would take a lot of energy on my part, which is not necessarily a bad thing. But I think what we should do instead, empathic people who want to love everyone, but they're loving with conditions and they're loving without neutrality. I think it would be better if we send joy to Ukraine, because what we really want ultimately is a joyful resolution. That's what we want. And that's the energy that Ukraine could use right now. And I know that doesn't make sense for your logical mind. No, they need peace. They need to feel safe. But I don't think that you can actually send that type of energy to any troubled part of the world without being energetically, emotionally involved. That means you're manipulating the energy and they're not getting the pure source. I don't think you can send peace without feeling fear. I don't think you can send safety without feeling desperation. So that means you're not going to be able to send peace and safety, but I think you could send joy. Now, the great thing about sending energy in a way that is in the highest frequency that you can muster, especially if a lot of people do it over a period of time, that could really be influential. Not only will it help right now, but it could totally help for the future. It could change the frequency and the vibration of Ukraine, because Ukraine hasn't been attacked just once, although this current attack is pretty significant. So there's something in their energy that's leaving them in a place of vulnerability, like the country itself potentially, or the fact that the people know that those things could happen to them because they've experienced it more than once, and maybe even some of the surrounding nations as well. Joy is a pretty neutral energy. And whenever you want to send joy, your job is to not think. This is what happens with neutrality. You can't think about who you're sending it to in the situation that they are right now. When you send neutral energy, you just need to think about the energy that you're sending. So if we were to send joy to Ukraine right now, because that would be the energetic solution that I'm recommending, avoid Russia right now. And I know the people of Russia are also having a hard time, but we want to send energy to the beings who need the most help. You would think about a time in your life where you felt incredible joy. Notice that that is not related to what's happening in parts of the world right now. A lot of individuals have experienced joy in their childhood, playing, running outside, riding your bike, swinging on a swing, building forts, um, playing hide and go seek with friends, all kinds of beautiful games, swimming, skiing, playing tennis, racquetball, any type of sporting activity that brings you great joy, just running for fun, track. That's what I want you to get into that experience of. A lot of times, play is joyful. Real free play is joy. And so, right now in my body, and you can join me if you'd like, I'm remembering swinging on a swing because I find that so joyful. It's a beautiful day. I think I'm about 5 or 6 years of age when I'm allowing myself to have that experience. And when I swing on a swing today, because luckily I have grandchildren, I play with them in parks, I swing on swings and climb all kinds of monkey bars and go down slides again. But when I'm on a swing, I just feel that freedom, my feet going way up in the air and pretending like I'm touching the sky, and then going back and feeling that exhilaration of, moving back behind where you were. And then even that momentum of like, am I going to jump out of the swing right now or not? I don't jump out of swings these days. At least I haven't recently, but that's the joyful feeling. Notice it's neutral. I'm not thinking about the world. I'm not thinking of war. I'm not thinking of suffering or injustice. I'm actually in my body remembering a moment of pure, impassioned joy. And then once my body's full of that feeling, like it's running in my system very significantly, then I'm going to close my eyes and imagine creatively, whether you see it, hear it, or feel it. Doesn't matter how you do it. Just let it happen. Just let yourself imagine this. Be creative. I'm going to imagine that I'm sending all of that joy to Ukraine. And I'm still not going to think about those other words that I just said. I'm just going to imagine that joy going to Ukraine. So that joy can be utilized in the best way possible for that country and its people right now, the way they need it, and also let it to be used for the future. That's the best thing you can do energetically. Don't send energy to individuals who are going to absorb it. Like people who have narcissistic tendencies don't care if you send anger or love. They don't care if you send desperation. They're going to just soak it in and use it to their behalf. They like attention. They prefer positive attention, but they like all forms of attention. And narcissist people don't care. So all the kind empathic people who are sending energy to Russia's leader to get that person to become compassionate is a complete waste of time, in my opinion. If you can, because it's not going to happen, not in this lifetime, probably not for several lifetimes to come. Much younger soul, not quite at all working on any form of compassion, not just for people during a wartime, but even their own citizens of their own country that they're governing. So it's a waste of your time to try to help that individual gain compassion, unless, of course, you can hold that energy neutrally and it feeds your soul and it raises your frequency. Then you know that that would be good for you. That would be probably 1 to 2% of the people that listen to this video, or maybe the people in the world completely. Very few people can hold neutrality and unconditional love for a dictator. It's really challenging. So don't waste your time trying to do that. It's not going to change their behavior. You could do a much more efficient form of shifting energy by sending joy to any part of the world that you wish were having a better time in life. And now you know how to do it. I hope you have fun doing it and know that it will work and create pivotal shifts and changes for many, many people's lives. And your brain will not understand it. The mind cannot see the future in a magical, multisensory way. The mind is like a computer. So don't try to figure it out. Allow yourself to be surprised by the changes that will come when you send joy to a troubled area of any part of your life or someone else's life or the world, authentically with neutrality. Good luck and have fun. Bye-bye.